So, finally back again with another review video. This time it is of the Revel 1/48 scale F-14D Super Tomcat. So, let's get into it. So, one of the first things right out of the gate I need to comment on are the decals. Now, the low-vis decals for VF-124 are fine. All stenciling and all that is quite good, and I don't see any problem with it. The problem I do have, however, is with the high-vis markings for VF-31, which you can see here is really bad. They did not do a good job on them at all, and cannot recommend going with them if you're going to build this kit. Either go with the low vis markings or look for aftermarket decals. Now, one big point that I do want to point out is the fact that they give you two options on your gun vent for the later model and the earlier model. Which one it is exactly, I can't remember off the top of my head. I need to look at references. But the fact that they do give you the option for both vent types is a big plus, as other Tomcat kits from Hasegawa and such do not include it. Now, one downside though to this kit is you have to build the individual pedals around the exhaust vents individually, which can be a pain to get right. So that is a bit of a downside. Now, moving on, one interesting thing about this kit is the fact that they split the fuselage in half like this. Now, in most other kits I've encountered, they do the back half here as in this sort of manner, but this front half from about here forward, they do it split vertically like this. So that is interesting, and so it could be good, could be bad. We'll find out once it's built, but it is an interesting arrangement, and the fact that they do eliminate some of the problems that you have with trying to attach this front half to the back half. So here we now see the front office, which is pretty reasonable for both the front and back displays. For some reason mine came with two sets of canopies. Not sure why, but hey, never hurts to have a spare. Bit of a plus over the Hasegawa offering is the fact that it comes with full complement of weapons, which is quite nice and an added bonus, but the weapons aren't that as detailed as the Hasegawa aftermarket weapons, so it's really a toss-up. Ejection seat detail is pretty good, however there is some flash around them. Front office has the base of the landing gear bay. As for the rest of the detail in the cockpit section, it's not quite as good. Everything appears to be there, just the detail isn't as nice as the instrument panels. Moving on, we have the big wings. They have the gearing type that you see in some kits, and your tail fins. And to look at the wings, they seem a little big. Then again, the Hasegawa offering has everything broken up, so you can display it with flaps and slats down. So it could just be a perspective thing, for me at least. But overall, they do look good. And they also have your fan blades and all the various little landing gear bits. Interesting that they chose to do the gear bay side detail attached to the landing gear doors. This could actually make things a little easier, as anyone who's tried building the Hasegawa offering can attest to the difficulty is to build the main gear area. Now, overall, one thing to note about this kit is that it does have raised panel lines, so that does present a problem if you need to do any filling and sanding and the like, is you're going to lose detail. However, given the fact that this kit costs substantially less than the Hasegawa offerings, or the Hobby Boss offering to that matter, as I think those are going for, at the current exchange rate right now, around $80 plus. And considering this kit, I actually got it on sale for about $10, and regularly it's $20. You really can't beat that price right now with the current exchange rate as it is. If the dollar ever gains any strength, then obviously have to reevaluate. But considering what you get in the box, at the very least you can build up to look like a Tomcat, and all the sort of proportions and such are there. No, you can't really argue at the price. Oh, before I forget, there was one more thing I wanted to point out, which I cannot for the life of me understand why they do this. But here on the rear stabilator, they have imprinted the copyright information. Now, why they can't just print it somewhere where it won't be seen, so we won't have to sand it down, is I cannot understand why they do that. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to have to clean up, but for some reason they feel like they need to do that. So overall, now it looks like it'll build up to be a good kit, as if we look at the instructions, it breaks all the steps down fairly simply, shows you how to do everything, which is important. Would have been nice to see the missile markings as decals instead of having to paint them, and because of that, I may actually swap them out with the Hasegawa aftermarket. Also, do not like the fact that they did the Sparrow missile attached to the pylon, as that's going to make painting really difficult, since again, no decal. Marking sheet is good, it shows you where to put everything. Again, it's only really provides you with two options as far as painting and such, but again, like I said, if you are going to build this kit, either go with the low-vis markings or look at getting aftermarket decals. So yeah, that is the Revel F-14D Super Tomcat. Till next time then.